I, 35 male, separated from wife, 35 female, a year ago. Started new relationship with GF, 32 female, 10 months ago. Ex wants to try again. Child involved, 5 male. My ex-wife and I separated a year ago. We were together for 13 years, dated for 8 years, married for 5. Dating life was great, we never fought, had great sex 4 to 7 times a week. When we first got married it was still great. When our son was born the sex and intimacy died. We still got along well outside of the sex issue. I was patient, gave her space, tried my best to help around the house. I make a good income and work hard to earn it. She works in retail so doesn't make as much, but she works really hard too and managed most of the household stuff. Finances were good so it wasn't a source of stress. I brought up the lack of intimacy a number of times. That it was important to be. That I needed it to feel loved, appreciated, and whole. She would shut down and not want to discuss it. She would then make an effort for a couple of days, BJs, longer hugs, more cheek pecks. We haven't had sex in 5 years. I went to see a therapist which helped, but she would not go with me or on her own. Little was resolved in the relationship. I got very frustrated and easily agitated by every thibbage around me due to the lack of sex. I started to blame my son and was very jealous of the attention he got. I knew this wasn't rational or healthy. I discussed with the ex and decided to separate. She was initially passive about it and then surprised and upset when I did actually get my own apartment and moved out a few weeks later. 2 months later, I meet someone that is beautiful, smart, sexy, and enjoys sex. We have a lot of fun together, we're very compatible. During the past year of separation, I've still held out hope that my marriage might still work. I love my wife very much. I miss being with my son every day. The ex wrote me a long letter essentially apologizing for how she treated me, saying she's figured some things out, and wants to really try again. I'm at a crossroads. GF is wonderful. I can see a bright and adventurous future with her. I love GF. I also love my son and want to be a daily and part of his life. I love ex-wife and want to see her happy. I've always been romantic and believed in marriage being forever. It took a lot, 5 years of no sex and irrational jealousy towards son, for me to move out. What would you do in my shoes?
Top 5 comments.
I married the same men twice. Problems from the first marriage were magnified in the second marriage. We did not go to counseling. Unless you both go to counseling, I doubt you will both be able to maintain changes needed. Also, grew up with parents that were miserable together. If they had gotten divorced, my life would have been much better growing up. Whatever you do, don't go back to your ex-wife unless she absolutely agrees to start marital counseling with you. You two need to work out your unhealthy sex and communication patterns with the help of a professional, given that they were serious enough to split you up before. Without it, you and your wife will almost inevitably go back to having a sexless and largely unhappy marriage. Don't get back with her just because you want to be with your son. Also, she had her chance to work on things and refused. It's been a year, and you're moving on. It seems like you being in a healthy relationship with the new girl is better than an unhealthy one with the ex. If you want to reconcile with your wife, you need to lay down some terms, which includes counseling for the both of you, either together or separate, because 5 years without sex is just insane. Is it possible that your ex-wife wants you back now that you are happy and have someone? Personally, I wouldn't go back. Your ex-wife has had years and years and years to change, and now she is too late. You are happy where you are. If you get back together with her, it will give your son hope. If things won't work out again, it will devastate him even more than the first time. Are you still seeing the therapist? If not, I would start seeing the therapist again. I'm a little confused if this is your ex-wife, or your wife, because you say both in your post. If you're having doubts, it doesn't sound like you're being fair to either woman right now. If you're not already doing it, I would start seeing the therapist again, and take some time alone, truly alone, to figure out what you really want.